line. Check the radio, pit crew is far from slow. The lights no longer yellow. Ready, steady, go. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 In love with the ride. Burning rubber smells real nice. Fuel it up once or twice. Come on, fast is the way to drive. Crowds all on their feet, not one bothered by the heat. Imagine them in the driver's seat. Checkered flag would be sweet. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Everybody get ready. On your feet. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Crank it up. Crank it up. Oh, it's race day. 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 Crank it up. Finger to the sky and a green light shining bright. The only thing I have in mind is the finish line. Check the radio, pit crew is far from slow. The lights no longer yellow. Ready, steady, go. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. Crank it up. Oh, it's
Hello everyone, welcome back here to PTM Racing TV live from Bristol, Tennessee. Here we are at Bristol Motor Speedway, and today, under tonight's show, we are going to present to you the BackFire Next Gen Sim Racing drivers as they take to the half-mile long track, high banked section for their final race before the cutoff line. Time to get these playoff rids really rocking and rolling. Hi everyone, I am the Crusader, Christian Schreier, joining you tonight. As we start up our drivers here, get this field ready to go for some nice action. I'd say it's best we take a look at the starting lineup to find out who will be the #1 starters, and Carl Hamburg will be the #1 guy in the 51. His outside being Patrick Kuwait, and that's today 7. Row number 2, it's Tom Bourne, the 16's outside. Black Owl there. He'll pilot it up, down. And the number 26, row number 3 is going to be Robert Kenny, and the 10 is outside. The 87, that is piloted by Thaddeus Marshall. Row number 4 is West Florida, 35 is outside. It's the 57, Matthew Rodriguez. Row number 5 is Jeremy Richmond, the 98 is outside. The 97, Brax Savati. Row number 6 is going to be Cole Martin, the 45 is outside. The 14, Christian Roos. Row number 7 is going to be Chris Pop on the 13 is outside. It's a 95, Aaron Brown. Row number 8, Dylan McDonald, the 38 is outside. 55, Nicholas Panico. That will line up your starting drivers. 8 of the best coming to you live on the show. Drivers preparing for the situation at hand, preparing for the battle that's cut to come their way. Many top tier drivers are getting ready, just getting a little shaky under the hood there. You can see some of the actual hand movement there. Some of these guys are a little nervous to say the least here. That's what I honestly, this track is so difficult to master, so difficult and hard to control. 250 laps to the distance here tonight. This is going to really test some drivers and bring out either the best or their toughest adversaries when it comes to racing down on a track like this here. And ladies and gentlemen, as you join me here today, Cody McRae saying it's Bristol baby, Robert Van Ness saying go McQuaid, 77 rules, Billiter saying it's Bristol baby. It's good to have you all on board here today, and yes, as you said it, it's Bristol, my friends. Before we get into tonight's action here, let's take a look at the lineup here today. Of course, Carl Handwerk, Ricky Gonzalez, Blake Howell, Tom Bourne, Patrick McQuaid, Wesley Fuller, Christian Roos, Chris Papa, Alexander Kerfunk, Thaddeus Marshall, Matthew Rodriguez, and Robert F. Kennedy have punched their ticket to the next round of racing here in the playoffs format. But Cole Martin, Aaron Brown, Paul Owens, Brock Savati, and Eddie Morris, really the drivers to watch out for here in this event and in this race, as they are going to be hunting down for a chance to get a serious playoff points conduction and possibly have a berth into the next round of racing. There's a lot of hard chargers in this one. There's a lot of heavy hitters in this field that can certainly take this to the wire, as we got a few new cameras down here on the track kind of display up and help get around the track here. Down across the first set of corners here, rounding them off down out of turn number 3 into 4 this time on by. We will let the next gens roar to life here at Bristol Motor Speedway. It's time to get down to business. Let the green flag fly and soar through the air. Here we go out of start. We're already going to take a 3-wide saloon, as you see a lot of movement coming up from that number 95, Aaron Brown, already making some headways and making some charges there. Christian Roos not too far behind him here. Out Brock Savati now even moving his way through the chains here, having a little bit of a fight on hand. All hands on deck, all hands on the wheel here. Drivers going for everything they can on the start. And the 10 of Robert Kenny right now in the FRN network, trying to stay off that wall protection. You see a Sim Speed Shot machine going right up to the air, up to that wall protection there. As we got one spun on around here. Looks like that's a 77 of Patrick McQuaid. Lost it off corner number 4 there, and now he's going to have even more problems on his hands. The CBD Chevrolet has going to be sentenced back to the pack. Looked like he might have overdrove it there in the corner there, unfortunately, which is so easy to do with these high bank tracks. You got to drive it in quick into the entry, but then you got to really be soft and gentle coming off those exits. But it's so easy to over throttle, overpower that thing, as we've seen a numerous amount of times here on PTM Racing TV. It doesn't matter what car, it doesn't matter what driver, it does not matter how you set the thing up. Eventually, Bristol will bite, and when it bites you, it takes you for the wildest of rides. As the 95, Aaron Brown takes a little scrape on a bruise there from the 57 of Matthew Rodriguez there. Honestly, Rodriguez really looked like he even touched him kind of coming around that corner. Gave him a little bit of that bump and run, though. Caution flag is out here. We got a little bit of a problem down there. I think we got a 4-car pile up down here. 97 of Brock Savati. 77 of Patrick McQuaid stopping here, as Nicholas Pinico on the 55 is in a dead hold. Stop! Whoa! Whoa! And the 51, Carl Handwerk, your race leader, just took a huge chunk out of Nicholas Pinico. I don't know what the heck happened there, but oh my. The race leader may have had a miscommunication from his spotter, maybe miscommunication from the officials. But that might not be a very good sign there with just that huge hit he took. Let's take a look at the replay. See what exactly transpired that got this whole mess to begin with. And looks like it's Savati and Jeremy Richmond that end up caused the trouble. Then I'm going to take a look at Carl Handwerk's little onboard camera here in a minute, but That was a really bad timing shot there. I don't even know what the heck happened. And you see right there, the 98 actually, that's where our camera was missing out on. See, we got a shot at that one here. That was Jeremy Richmond, the 98. Looks like he lost it coming off a corner. And again, turn number 4 bites another one. Actually collected his teammate and Christian Roos, as well as a 55 there of Pinico. Then Carl Handwork, like I said, just kind of jammed right in between there. We'll take a look at his onboard camera here while the drivers get squared away. This was as the wreck happened. It's already done. The caution lights are flashing. You see the yellow lights right there as he just passed them on by there yet again. So I'm presuming his thought process was everything's okay now, everything's good. And then right there, that was a huge mistake. I don't even know if that was a bad call on the spotter or if that was something else on the driver's end. But they do have one fast repair, but I guarantee you Handwork was not exactly wanting to use that right now. Wow. Well, that right there, race fans, is what we call a what the heck just happened kind of moment. Well, Blake Al's going to take over the race lead now. The number 26 1-3 speed. The 1-3 speed team has not had the best of luck as of late here on the show. Looking to try to change that here with this race and this performance. That's Tom Bourne, or as we call him, Tom Airborne at 16. He is always flying high and flying with the fastest of speeds here, it seems like, on the track and on the show. Some tracks, he literally is so good, he'll just dominate it completely from the start to the finish and has no problems or qualms about what he does here. Will we get the same experience, or will we get the same showcase here? Drivers are going to have a newfound respect here for Bristol if they want to survive around here and they want to survive the game that is this track. Half mile link, it does not play favorites. It will get you realize your worst nightmares come to life. Back to the green flag. We're back underway. And you can see that little kick up there, the 95. You see him just smash that rear. He smashed up the loud pedal there, trying to get a grip on that straightaway. But again, even this concrete surface, not asphalt surface, concrete surface, a slippy, slidey, and very much tears up tracks in a car. It gets very difficult here after a while to kind of hold that thing online. Thaddeus Marshall, the other 87 right now, trying to make a little bit of a fight back out on the 95 here of Aaron Brown, as well as that 10. You see of Robert Kenny, as Matthew Rodriguez here kind of fires him right on the back spots, on the back burner here, keeping him honest and keeping him right in play. So difficult to win here, so difficult to really make a true showmanship for yourself in a charge and a half around this place. It can be a very illustrious win if you can find a way to do it. The BK Designs, number 45, Cole Martin here, keeping up distance, keeping up the track here as Carl Handwork and at Back Row Sim Racing Machine. Or excuse me, the core number 51 Chevrolet Camaro, trying to get something going for him and his team. That was a really tough break there, a tough hit that he had suffered. You can see the damage still on that left front side, as well as the up front of the hood there, right on the top of the grill area. That damage there on that 51 is so severe, it's really starting to hurt him up a bit, not giving him as much speed for the long run because of the aerodynamics of the car. And Jeremy Richmond has decided to jump into pit road. I think he might be calling it a day in that 98. And we're getting pretty aggressive, though. He's putting it right up there. Chris Papa here, and Papa is on the lead lap, so he's trying to get back on the lead lap as much as Christian Roos, Brock Savati, and Cole Martin is. There was a little bit of problems down here in the number 14. Seems to have spun it right back on down on the back straightaway here. We'll take a look at the PTM replay, see what exactly happened. Jeremy Richmond has called it a day. And the smoke pit, well, he didn't completely lose it in the turn, but he did, because he didn't smash the wall protection, so I call that a win in this case with these next gens, which, God forbid me, I don't think I've ever called a car that spins out on the track a win without costing yourself a lot of time and precious momentum. But the thing is with these cars, man, if you just slightly get into that wall or you break anything on them, I mean, they can take a beating, but they also can be a very extremely big handful to deal with. Ellen Forcing, go, 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 Town Racing, guys. Good luck from Mama Fuller. Ellen Fuller is in the house. Well, one of those guys that's from the title town, of course, our good friend, and Send It man, the number 87, Thaddeus Marshall. He's one of the only guys on the lead lap right now here, trying to stay ahead, though, of the hard charges and the power-based maneuvers of Carl Handwerk. His teammate, the 35 West Fuller, what Mama Fuller is referring to, is trying to keep up, just to keep up a little bit of a fight here on Chris Papa, that number 13-1-3 speed, number Ford Mustang. So much at stake, so much going on the line here. Again, these drivers having to worry about that playoff hold, that threshold that gives them a chance to stay in it. Really going into this one too, I mean, Jeremy Richmond knew this would be a bit of a handful and a bit of a head scratcher for him to make anything work. Unfortunately, with how far he was off in the playoffs points and the playoffs list, I guess really in his mind, he did not feel like he had anything he could give to these guys, give to this track. Christian Ruiz obviously locked in, so is Chris Papa, so it does help him out quite a bit, as well as his teammate. So really, Aaron Brown, Brock Savati, the ones out on the track right now, they are the ones that are worried about this more than anything, as much as the 45 of Cole Martin, who is in that BK design machine. So him and Savati, they're going to have a little bit of a tough little get around here, a little bit of a battle to get through if they want to make into that playoffs round battle. These knockout, drag out, fight races, man, they can be an extreme handful. They can be extremely tough to endure. I personally like them because at the same time, kind of forces drivers to still have a little bit of a fight threshold to work with and not abuse the points, but it also, in a way, it kind of adds a little bit more of a reason to actually show up and come race rather than just like getting all the wins and getting all the victories in one go. The only other thing I can think of really that makes up for it is what we used to do here that I used to race in, which was basically it was a race format here where you had to actually get the top 4 out of the best drivers into the championship race. 4 drivers went into that race, and one would come out the victor, and whoever won it was defined as the best driver that season. I've only been able to win the season championship once in the league because of that here, but unfortunately I don't think it's going to help it very good right now for that 95, Aaron Brown. Browns Phillips Golf Academy, number 95 here, got a little quicker, a little sideways, conkways, and clocked out a bit on the track. And now we'll have to see what happened exactly to that Chevrolet here and see what went wrong. Looks like he got into it a little bit with Thaddeus Marshall in the 87. Clipped, dipped, and spun her on around. Learn look at it from the instant replay. And you can see the old Bristol bump and run being put to good use here. how tight these drivers are going to be on the corners, how tight they have to be around the track. I mean, that's kind of the scary thing about racing on these short tracks, is because they're so close together, so kind of intertwined, they can't just simply get away from each other too quickly or too far ahead, because eventually they will have a lot more on their hands than what they realize. Carl Hamwork, one of the first guys into pit road there, trying to get a little bit of a cleanup job while getting the tires cleaned up as well, refreshed and reset. I think he was expecting to be on pit road a little bit longer here, but didn't quite get the luxurious push of that one. Yeah, I can already tell you what he's up to right now. He's trying to do what Christian Roos is doing right now, which is just getting cleaned up and fixed up around the car and around the track, while pace car is out and about. Problem is, like with the track like this, there's only so much pits and exits and fix-ups you can do to that car before that pace car comes around and puts you a lap down. Roos already suffering through that and already suffering in that position here. We're just going to hurry out of there, so will the number 51. They'll both beat the pace car off pit road as we're about to go one to go here this time by. Dylan McDonald, the 38, did not make the call, so only 15 drivers came out here today to race. Jeremy Richmond already out with a mechanical problem. They due to, unfortunately, the steering malfunction of the car just not getting up to par, up to the standards I feel like he was wanting to look at here today. High damage on that 97 of Brock Savati. If he's not careful, that could cost him long run. So he's going to have a little bit of work to do as we bring the green flag back on out. Hard on the nose, hard on the charge here. All drivers now back on the throttle, back in brigade here, looking for any kind of position they can. Get a look at that battle up front for the race lead. Blake out and Tom Bourne hard on it, but it's going to be a yellow flag popping out. Well, not really sure where that came from. Nicholas Pinico has jumped into the pits, so I would presume that has something to do with that 55 down there. Well, let's take a look at the PTM Instant Replay and see what happened here. Well, that Montucky number 55 came right off turn number 4. He was already spinning a bit. You see the sparks flying off. Car smacked dab hard in the wall protection here. Looked like he was trying to get into pit road and get out of the way of drivers. I don't think there was really any other reason for the caution, though. And he is done. He is out of this one. So that's going to shape things up a little bit again here. The official's going to call caution on that, and they will get him recentered and re-racked, restacked, and all that once more. Just about 1/5 the way there so far, though. And again, drivers trying to just kind of keep themselves under control and keep themselves even tempered. Again, we know Bristol Motor Speedway has a habit of making a few drivers a little bit more temperamental. Myself included. I've been there and dealt with that plenty of times. Scott Rankin saying I'm here for the shenanigans. So I guess we have a few of our drivers and friends and family that wanted to take a look at and see about that in this case. So I don't blame you there. Double file back up into the exits, into the run zones we go once more. All drivers preparing to get back at it here and ready to go firing down on the first set of corners here, ready to hit this one up a little bit. Off on corner number 4, pace car comes off now. Now we'll lead them off the charge. And again, Tom Bourne will be the man of the hour. He'll be the man with the power. Bring him to the green. And through the legs and through the race as they go. A little battling back and forth here. Carl Handwork back on the lead lap, by the way. And you just know more than anything, he's not going to give an inch. Out of here with Thaddeus Marshall right now. Going to go side by side, battling back and forth here. Box to box, he kind of laying low here from the team of the 45 of Cole Martin, and then at 35 here of Wes Fuller. Wes Fuller right now, lead lap down, trying to hang on. Cole Martin trying to join his team, trying to join the other drivers here in the next set of rounds. Remember, those in red were going to advance into the next round that I mentioned earlier. They were in the red zone. They were in the clear to go. They will make it in. I guarantee you, more than anything, really the biggest focus there, all these drivers really kind of keep a close eye on, was just watching themselves and watching their areas and watching their place to be, knowing that there's going to be a lot of heavy racing, a lot of heavy artillery thrown their way eventually in this one. Blake Howell in the 26 kind of going at it right now with the A7 Thaddeus Marshall here, trying to see what he can do here. Blake Howell doing a great job, battling quick off the march, quick off the shot here. Thaddeus trying to stay out of hhis way, don't stay out of that troublematic zone. Both drivers absolutely killing it on each leg, each end of the steering. No harm or fouls here. Whoa, there's going to definitely be a little bump and runs, a little slinging it right at each other yet again. Howell second, no grief, no scuff from the 87. Sends him off to the wall and into the distance he goes. I hope that didn't cut down a tire. We don't need no Chase Elliott, Kevin Harvick fields around here, that's for sure. In the back of the pack, the CBDMD number 77, Patrick McQuaid, trying to hang in there with Cole Martin, that number 45, McQuaid. Kind of found himself in a bit of a rough edge, a little bit of a rough patch here. Dealing with the kind of caliber and kind of lineup he deals with here. Caution flag is out here. Problems down there for the 13. Chris Papa looks like he goes for a little tail whip and spin. Carl Handwork is down there as well, already in pit road. And things slowing down yet to go. Whoa, whoa, whoa. And Chris Papa literally over throttles the gas here. Kind of throws himself into the wall protection on the front straightaway. I'm not really sure what happened there. Little 3 wide salute. Oh, man. Blake Howell. I'm not sure if that was literally to get back at. I'm not sure if that was to get back there at 51 of Carl Handwork for earlier on, but that one definitely was a little bit of a shaky move. Here's Chris Papa here that I was mentioning here. The one thing he needed to not do was damage that car up anymore, and he damaged it badly there just by doing that little move there, unfortunately. We'll take a look at it from the onboard camera end here of Blake Howell as he sends it to a 3-wide salute here at Bristol. Handwork, man, he just had nowhere to go and nowhere to get out away from. Again, just kind of that overall presence of mind. And from our distance here, it looked like, you know, Papa got a good chunk of it, but Handwork seemed to have kind of evaded and avoided too much of that headache, too much of that problematic zone, so we'll have to see how the drivers take offense to that and take on that charge. But Carl Handwork now will be your race leader. Tom Bourne, Robert Kinney will go into the third slot here. Well, Thaddeus definitely had a, shall we say, a little scruffle or two with that 26 of Blake Howell a little earlier on. So, I mean, right now, Howell might be our Brad Keselowski of the day, if you will. Might be a little bit more aggressive than most realize, and definitely racing hard for a win. And you kind of have to, though, at Bristol. That's one of those things, man, you just can't just give in to. You can't let up. I mean, a win here at Bristol would mean everything to a driver or to anyone out there that always dreams of taking home a big chance, a big shot here. One lap to green now. Pace car turns the lights off, and now that's time to get things back up and running here. Laying it back down into position here. Green flag back on out, and we're going to line them up and fire them off. A little late on the flag there, though, man, flagman. I'm not sure if he was asleep at the top of the desk there, top of the stand, or what was up with him, but he did not get the green flag flying as quick as he should, in my opinion. The lights had a flicker on to get these drivers to go. Race official's going to go and talk with him about that one here, see what the heck's going on with his end. He's saying down there that he had a little problem with the actual recording telling him when to go green. So he kind of mistimed it, misstepped it there. And that's apparently the reason he's going to give his race official down there. I don't know if they're going to agree with that at all. I know I don't. Hard battling all around us here, Blake. Oh my, look out, look out. We got more problems. We've got problems. Well, I saw Robert Kinney spinning out, and I saw Carl Handwork spun out. And I don't think this was by any means anyone's end there other than maybe a lone driver or two. Oh boy, alright, let's take a look at this one. Well, let's take a look at this here. Coming into turn number 3, and Tom Bourne just the old Bristol bump and run, baby. Robert Kinney did it to himself, unfortunately, on the turn. Brock Savati gets a huge chunk flipped in, unfortunately, and right now Carl Handwork, if I had to guess, is probably not too happy with a few drivers, and I think Tom Bourne is now one of them. See hard running off the corners there, entering into the turn. And again, Tom had to get an opening down there. He had to shoot for it. But you could just see, once he got tapped, that was pretty much the end of it. Robert Kennedy, actually great camera there from that angle, seeing how he spun it. Really shows you just how tough it was for him to kind of hang on to that line, hang on to that spot. I've got to be careful about using those instant repairs though. Remember, they only get one in this race here, and that could come back to haunt them or be a factor in the later half as we're under our 5th caution of the day. And once again, just like always, we'll double file on back on down once more, and we're going to see some more racing coming our way here in a minute. On the restart zone, Blake Howell, Cole Martin will be the front runners here. Rock Savati, Robert Kenny, and Patrick McWade round out the top of the 5. The elite 5, if you will. Pace car coming off turn number 4. Flagman, get that flag rolling. Get it going. What are you doing? He's still not waving that thing. He is literally not waving that flag when he's supposed to. I'm about ready to go down there and throw my headset at him if I gotta get him to wave that thing quicker. Anyway, we're going green yet again. We're gonna fly him on down. I swear, like, we never had this much trouble with the flagman waving the flag when they're supposed to. They're already across the line when they're already going. Well, anyway, Wes Fuller right now, he's currently a lap down here, but he's trying to change up the pace, to change the momentum up with Matthew Rodriguez right behind him here. In front of him, excuse me. You know, when Scott Rankin said earlier on, I'm here for the shenanigans, I don't think he was thinking that the shenanigans would just be from the drivers. I think he was not expecting the flagman of all things to be that too. Rankin though saying McQuaid's an excellent, lovely guy. Good to see him back this season. Yeah, it's good to have him back. I remember, I think it was the first time we ever started calling BackFire Sim Racing Races. He actually was with us. It's good to see him still charging hard, still making a showcase for himself out here. Very nice guy, talented driver. Got a pretty good safety rating on his end here. About a 2.522 with a 2.22 safety. His I rating is more important than anything, though. That really kind of determines our driver's aspect and the driver's control of the car. Oh! And once again, Carl Hamwork seems to find himself in the wrong place at the wrong time. He gets clipped and edged on the 57 of Matthew Rodriguez, and I think he may have already used an instant repair up. Just when you thought things couldn't get any worse on your end, then you realize there's other drivers that are spinning the same corners that you saw other ones spinning at earlier. Let's take a look at the replay. Yeah, this is tough to watch out right here. You see the 57 Steak and Shake. He clips the apron and got it right in front of that 51, and man, I tell you, Tom Borden got very, very fortunate. He was already on the brake when that happened. That could have been a more destructive situation and a more hard environment to suffer through, knowing that that car was going to have a lot more damage on it if he went right through it at normal speeds. the breakneck speeds here at Bristol Motor Speedway. We'll talk more about that in a minute here and just what kind of speeds they're hitting, but you can see right there, it's just a slight tap. Not too bad there for the next-gen car, but again, took quite a bit of damage on the car there and took a little bit on the front of the nose, so I think he'll be okay. Anyone that might get this joke, I think it just turned into a car of tomorrow out there. Pretty much boxed up the front end. At least that's what it looks like to me anyway, so. The field will pace themselves on around yet again here. We'll see some more hard racing, some more heavy action-packed battles coming up here in just a few short minutes here, or seconds, if you will. Robert Kenny, first time he's been up in this top bracket here today. First time he's really been able to get a chance at taking down a few pegs and taking down a few of the drivers here. It's going to be interesting to me to see if maybe he can find a little bit of an opening, find himself a little bit of a chance to really shotgun it and start it around. Field getting squared away right now, trying to get drivers back on lead lap positions. Blake Howell has chosen to opt on the top side here. He will begin his pursuit on the outside line, and I kind of like the strategy, really. Normally, under normal circumstances here at Bristol, I would want to stay to the bottom for one reason. Being on the bottom lane on the restart means you can actually kind of block the runs from anybody that tries to go top side on the exits here, because generally that means your tires won't be too burnt up, too kind of out of shape if I was on a normal short track regimen with like a street stock, a late model, or super late. But again, with these next gens, trying to drive off from the bottom is going to be extremely difficult compared to driving up topside, because it's a lot less movement and travel to have to worry about. It actually keeps the car more online, more in place. And I just see Blake Howell do right out of the gate. He actually is kind of aiming towards that bottom lane as he comes down from the restart zone. Green flag back on now, but still, that's just kind of something to really note, something to keep an eye on here, is those drivers that are going towards the bottom, they have a little bit of a disadvantage as if they were into the top side. Because top side, you can shoot straight down the bottom and then make that run for it to hold these cars online. Carl Handwork right now trying to hold not just his car online, but trying to hold his chance of getting back into the front online, because now that 16 is on board. Back at it with him here yet again is the 97 of Brock Savanti, drives it way up top side, right at the 16. And the FRN Network G Fuel 16 just got a whole host of just what the heck happened moment in his mind. Ford trying to keep his Genesis 16 and Ford Mustang still in this charge in this battle here with Carl Handwork. Carl literally was getting some runoff in the Core 51 despite that damage. Highly badly broken down on that front of the nose and around the whole car itself. He's trying to block topside. He's trying to block the run for the 16, but the 16 is still getting everything he can on that bottom lane. And for all he's got, he definitely does not want to let him by, does not want to let it go. Hangs on to it. Blake Howell, Robert Kenny, about 4/10 of a second off from one another, maybe about a half a second here. Blake can get a little bit more of a runoff here. Carl Handwork forced up topside. Tom Bourne moves bottom, gets the runoff, takes full aim and advantage. Brock Savanti now has two contenders right at his doorstep. One of them just so happens to be that 77 CBDMD. That is Braxton McQuaid, the 77. As a steak and shake, 57 of Matthew Rodriguez trying to work his way on down as well. Jumping around the ends, jumping around the corners here. Every single driver for themselves as we're nearing halfway point. Kind of crazy to think 250 laps to these guys and 250 laps around this track. I mean, what more could you ask for? What more kind of craziness could you want to perspect and really perceive? Savati still hanging on, still giving it all she's got. I mean, the thing is that front end, that rear end is so damaged up like Carl Hamburg's car, and yet the fact that it's still hanging on, still working as well as it is, pretty darn impressive to me. Aaron Brown, Nicholas Benico, they've had so much trouble, so much problems here this race. It's really not even going to be anything for him to go off of. He is going to have to rely on Savati to try to help out the JKR team, as they'll have to take it down, run 3 wide, so right in between Cole Martin, one of the other drivers, trying to get into the final rounds of the playoffs. Go. He got 3 wide slid. Oh, and he gets a huge tag on the 97 there. Took a big little chunk and bump off the 97 of Savati. I don't think Savati's going to appreciate that one too much, though, my friend. Martin backing off quite a ways here. Either he's saving tires or he burnt up his equipment a little too much. Kind of hard to really tell. And I'm still trying to figure out how the heck Carl Hamburg with a damaged up car like his is still even having a chance to even race this one out with the boys. I guess that just shows you the testament to the pure, unalterated horsepower and control these next-gen Cup cars have at their disposal. They certainly can take a beating as much as they can give a beating to each other. That is a good sign, but at the same time, maybe a little bit of a scary sign when you think about it. Thaddeus Marshall right now, the 87, still dealing with that FRN Network 16. Tom Barnes. Tom trying to make a run off here. I'm trying to get a position away from him. Slight clip on the inside, opened the door up, found an opening there with a 16. Now he's going to try to get in there. Oh, Thaddeus Marshall says, hey, wait a minute. Did I consent to this? No, I did not. I don't want anything to do with you, sir. You stay back there. I'll hold my line here. You stay just right there, and maybe we'll work something out later. Titletown Racing's 87. Chevrolet Camaro right now. Hanging on. But that 16 FRN Network up on board does not wish to be denied. Trying to fire on all cylinders right at him here. Trying to find an opening and trying to find a line as we go on board. Man, the sheer control and sheer consistency you just even have to have hold these things online, trying to hold these cars in a place like that into a moment, into just a moment's breath of having troubles kind of spiraling out of your way. Well, we're about ready to reach halfway point, so you know what that means. It's time to crank up the volume, crank up the high beams, crank up everything I got under your screen. We're gonna go and put some cranking it up out on the track. Great onboard shots from our cameramen and our folks down there. As right now we work this one closer to the halfway edge of this point. The 97 in Brock Savati here is starting to lose momentum and lose ground. Wes Fuller starting to use a little bit of that speed he had chopped up for the later half now to kind of enclose and seal a chance at making a little bit more of a head fight, a little bit of a fight off here. Again, he is in the playoff hunt still, and he will actually be locked in after this round no matter what happens here in this race. A lot of guys really are literally locked in and settled away for this season in the next round, but Jeremy Richmond was not one of them. Neither was Aaron Brown, who is both drivers out at the moment. Really could not get themselves out of their own little gap, out of their own little head, and unfortunately found themselves in the worst areas. Nicholas Panico, Cole Martin, as well as the 97 of Brock Savati, all enduring and having to fight and struggle just to get into the next round of racing here. Carl Hayworth still holding on by a thread, if you will, as we have now passed halfway point here. And I heard something go on one of these drivers here. That 13 of Chris Papa, I think, just went. Oh, watch out down there, leaders. Not again. Oh, my. Thaddeus Marshall and Cole Martin, both drivers crashing down there, unfortunately. As Chris Papa was trying to get out of the way here, was trying to get the drivers alerted. He knew they were in trouble. I mean, credit to Papa for this one, but you can see right here, that really wasn't even a tag there. That's glitchcraft and gremlin nonsense there. Now this part though, that's definitely not glitchcraft and gremlin nonsense. That's just two cars colliding and worlds colliding down the track here. Blake Howell's trying to avoid it, and you saw Thaddeus, man, he just could not get out of the way there. And it looks like Chris Papa has left the track. He's done. He's posted the car up. He's done for the day. You can see Blake Howell didn't exactly come away unscathed, though. Thaddeus did clip him a little bit. But as you can see, the damage on that front of the nose really didn't take all that much of a hit there, if you will. I speculate more than anything that probably didn't do much of, if anything, to the car. I think it might have hurt the runs of some of these guys, but not by much. I believe Brock Savati has a instant repair ready to go if necessary, but the question is, will he use it? Well, field will have to get kind of scratched away. Got to fund it back in a safe place, safe haven. We're at 10 spots in. firing them off round out of turn number 4. And let's see if that flagman gets it done right this time. Well, not quite on the money, and not quite 2 for the show, but I'll take it. I'll tell you one thing though, it's 2 for the show though. Thaddeus Marshall taking second place away here from Rodriguez. Got a great jump out of the start here, manages to hold his way down across the line. And don't look now, but Robert Van Ness, you've got your friend now, the 77, Patrick McQuaid now in this hunt. He's starting to make a little bit of a charge, starting to make a little bit of a run momentum boost up at the head of the field. Drivers engaging around the track here, trying to make a little bit of a fight or two off the springs, off the loaded clutch here. See if maybe they can find some speed and garner some run and momentum here for the late half. Carl Hamburg, that 51, still in a little bit of a bind, still a little bit of a troublematic zone. Trying to stay out of the way of problems and issues here, but you can see the 16 Tom Bourne gonna give him even more headaches and more problems again here. And again, I gotta believe right now in the back of Camwork's mind, he is just gotta be still livid about that damage and still livid about the fact that he can't get anything to really kind of go his way. He was racing so well earlier and got the #1 spot, qualified first, fastest driver out of that bunch. Then pretty much got himself put into a bind, a bit of a pickle, when literally Panico as well as Jeremy Richmond kind of collapsing and carrying in everybody, and really had nowhere to get away from it. And looks like he'll have a double header here moving up through the fields. Double trouble, the 16, Tom Bourne, secures a daily double on everyone here. Passes 2 drivers for the price of 1. Just about 100 laps left to go here at Bristol, and right now the speeds these drivers are carrying, if you're not damaged up and completely destroyed and beaten and battered, well, look at about 143 miles per hour at your top speed. I'd say you could probably hit about 145 if you time it just right. Boy, Patrick McQuaid right now, he is completely all hands on deck here, trying to hold that core 51 down across the line here, but you can see that not giving anything in there. Handwork, I should mention as well, is part of that Tiletown Designs brick ride, so I have to kind of confirm. Earlier on I made a mistake and said it wasn't. That actually is the Tiletown Designs on the side of the car, so that is my apologies there. Heavy on the nose, heavy on the run, down to the corners, they burn them on through. And Thaddeus Marshall, no, 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 put it down, put it down, put it down, put it down. Oh, stay up high, there we go, drivers. Oh my. I was just about to talk about how good the 87 was doing right now, hanging with Robert Kenny, and now I gave him the old broadcaster curse. So I'm sorry, Robert. And I'm sorry, Thaddeus. I apologize to Robert because I know he's going to have a handful of drivers now, and a little bit of a fresh set of tires as his is coming for him. You can see he was getting some serious speeds in that 10. He was getting really close to making him think about this one. And I think this was just kind of the mistake that he made here, was thinking that he had an opening with Robert Kenny. And right there, you can see he didn't hit anything, at least on his end. See if all the drivers avoided it. Handwork did get into the wall. It looks like he was the only one. I just kind of stopped, then he got it finally in reverse there, so that is the good news, but unfortunately That slows down the charge here for Robert Kinney here, and he had to head in. And now he has got to head back into the fight and back into the fray here, knowing Matthew Rodriguez and Tom Bourne are going to be right behind his end here. We've seen what Tom Bourne does around these parts of town. Brock Savati and Patrick McQuaid coming around as well. Wes Fuller heads back into pit road. Looks like he's not quite satisfied with how the car feels. He wants to get it repaired up a little more and get some tires on it and something to get some fresh good years licked on the track. Back on the restart zone, we're back underway, we're on the run, here we go again. And Robert Kennedy having that race, leading the FRN, number 10, Ford Mustang continues to strive hard. The Ford's doing pretty good, I had to say, I had over my thick fat mouth. Tom Bourne will not escape trouble, he's going to get into a Carl Hamwork all over the place here as well. I just had to open my big fat mouth on this one, didn't I, guys? Well, let's take a look at this one. Looks like it happened coming off the ends of turn number 4 there. Unfortunately, Tom Bourne kind of getting clipped in there with the 57 steak and shake of Rodriguez. We'll just look at it from the start of the spot here. From my angle, it looked like Rodriguez overshot the turn there. Had a good start. You see Bourne was going airborne down to the bottom, trying to make a run for it. Matthew Rodriguez trying to get out of the wall there, got into it, the 16. Then you see Zavati get into it a little bit. Christian Roos gets it. Carl Hamwork got tagged. And once again, things just cannot get any easier for these drivers. And I guarantee you right now, they have got to be all thinking in their head, like, how the heck are we going to iron these cars out when we get back home? Thankfully, the shop is not too far off here for some of these drivers. So hopefully, they'll be able to get them cleaned up enough come next week. But here's their look at it. You just gotta be thinking in your mind, like, literally, how many times have you taken these cars for a wild ride? How many times you have bumped and banged and just completely gotten hammered down on the track? Here's Carl Hamwork's onboard camera here from the start of this one. You could see right as they were entering into that turn, they just had everything all cleaned up and good to go. They thought they may make it look for a charge, look for a run. Next thing you know, I see drivers really crashing up right up there, and you have these brake systems on these cars. They don't exactly just stop on a dime. And sadly, that was kind of what the scenario and case was here in this for this end for these drivers. Well, Robert Kenny right now, at least the good news for him is he doesn't have to really worry about having to go into pit road or have to deal with the added pressure or feeling that these drivers are going to come back at him and come and catch him here. And by the way, Christian Bruce in that 14, he's back on the lead lap, and oh yeah, he's in 3rd place right now. How about that? You're at Bristol, you go a lap down, you still have a chance to kind of make your time up, make your ground in up in this case. And he got a very, very fortunate break with that in there in this situation. Carl Handworks still on the lead lap as well. Currently, I think just at this point, though, is probably about had enough of being put in the worst circumstances and the worst positions he can find himself in. Here we go now, once again, back to the green flag. We're back underway, and look out up ahead. We've got a battle, we've got a fight, and I guess Carl Handwork did not use that instant repair up until now. I guess he timed it right. He timed it on John Bourne, and Tom and him now in an absolute frenzy of a race. Robert Kenny pretty much got the shaft and got sent back to the back. And now it's Handwork and Bourne show all over again. These two, I swear, just have no quit. No quit, no give, no way, no how. Don't scream it down. It's Bristol, baby, and they are making it work around these parts of the town. 97 Brack Savasi here trying to get up there with the 26 of Blake Howell. Blake Howell earlier on that 1-3 speed. Really been only one of the only enlightenment things about this day for them. The 14 and Christian Roos also representing for that the 1-3 crew here trying to keep the smoke pit 14 somewhat clean and somewhat clear out of trouble. How many times has he found himself on the receiving end or on the worst end here with that car getting damaged up badly? Trying to make sure it doesn't happen anymore. Savati, I'm still shocked that thing is still running, to be honest with you. I can't even imagine how tough that car must be feeling right now with the engine and the oil pressure in there. Back to Rick Wade now in the 77, looking to try to make a little bit of a runoff here on the number 87 here. Thaddeus Marshall. Remember, Thaddeus is a lap down at this time and moment due to his little spin around, his little troubles he had on the corners. Kind of got flipped on around, unfortunately had nowhere to go. Now just hope for a lead lap pass or possibly a lucky dog to help him out here. Thaddeus deep into the corners, deep into the run with the 97 right up ahead of him. Some hard racing here by all ends of the spectrum. This is what you come to see, and you can really see that spoiler gone on that car. It looks a little weird, doesn't it? Savati knows that spoiler is not getting him any airflow, any else control, but thankfully on this short track, you don't have to worry about that too much. As you see, that's 87. The 57 here, Matthew Rodriguez, coming for a clip and a spin. And the trouble's persisting in that Steak and Shake crew right now. This is not looking good for him in this case. Let's take a look at the replay. Really, it all boiled down to just too much speed, and too much momentum, and too much run. Finding himself in the worst end. And you can see right there, just took it for a wild little shot. Let's go on board here with him in the cockpit view. This will give you guys just an idea how tough these next-gen Cup cars are to steer as much as they are to handle. I can't tell you how many times I've had more problems with these cars just because of that darn steering than I've had with actually trying to hold these things online. But look at this when he comes off the exit. Pay close attention. You see how slight that movement was? Just the slightest twitch right literally sends the car straight to the right. You literally almost got to put a Formula One wheel in there just to even make sure you don't overdo that turn, overdo that end there, just to make sure these things stay on line. That's how twitchy these things are. It's so crazy. It's a unique steering, don't get me wrong, and eventually I think over time we'll start to really get used to it, really develop more around it, but it's just so darn difficult to hold in motion and hold in charge, because again, the car just doesn't want to do that sometimes. Well, we got about 75 laps remaining in this one. Race fans, this is your first time here on PTM Racing TV. I know this has been a little bit of a longer race than all the formats I'm usually used to. But if you guys are new to the show and you've never seen our action, seen our showcases, it isn't just next gens we show. Now on the lineup here Saturday nights and afternoons will come forth with some rallycross races. Sunday nights, of course, locked and loaded from next gens to Xfinity to Cup Series action. Mondays, of course, trucks and really whatever else pushing limits you can think of. Tuesday nights kind of loaded up as well with the next gens. Wednesdays, Super Late model action and Dirt Series action on Thursdays, to say the least as well. It's a whole host of racing and charges from all ends of the spectrum. You can't get anywhere else than here on PTM Racing TV for the coverage and the voice commentary. At least I would hope so here on PTM Racing TV. So thank you so much for those that tuned in. Like and follow us up on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube so you guys never miss the show. Anyway, let's finish this one out here as we are back on the start, back on the charge. Christian Roos, the 14, trying to keep the smoke pit a little bit more in line and a little bit more intact here, I would say. Trying to avoid trouble and trying to avoid any more problems down on the track here. Simmer down, though. Little problems yet again. No, not again. Not again. Oh, my. And Cole Martin right now, his chances of getting into that playoffs are pretty much starting to slim down to nothing. The 45 has literally been wrecked, battered, smacked, and dropped from all ends of the spectrum. It just cannot seem to escape the madness that is pursuing him. You can just see Christian Roos, unfortunately, and them just kind of colliding with one another. Worlds have collided yet again here on PTM Racing TV, and again, it just boils down to the whole fact of with how difficult this track is on its own. Then you add one of the most difficult cars in the sim right now, and then there you go. You can see Robert Kenny actually gave him more than just a little bit of a trouble there. Actually got him almost flipped upside down. That's where all the troubles and all the marbles kind of got thrown around a little bit. I don't know how bad the suspension took on the 14, but I guarantee you probably felt a little bit of it down in that car, down in that cockpit. Squaring back up and begin from the next round of racing. We're not quite done yet. And back to square one, back to step one once more here. Drivers now preparing for the battle ahead. Squared off drivers now looking for the restart zone. Green flag back on out. We're underway once more. Don Bourne looking to try to make a little bit of a runoff here on Carl Hamburg. Knows that he's going to have himself a little bit of some work to do. Especially considering how close corner and everything is starting to tighten up around the place here. Oh, and Blake Owl now. He gets to be the one that takes the hit and run here in the bump and run down at Bristol. He goes for a wild ride here on the back straightaway. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I really think eventually we may have too many tore up cars on this track. Well, Savati actually was the one that got initially clipped by the 26. And that's when everything else just kind of went to crazy town. And it looks like the 10 of Robert Kenny pretty much kind of circumvented and kind of took him for a little bit of a headway here, a little shot in the arm. Wes Fuller, by the way, actually is now back on the lead lap, if you can believe it. His struggles earlier on, still not enough to keep him down. Credit where credit is due. So, driver's gonna have to get squared away yet again here and see what comes next on the track. Lights still following the pace car there. They're trying to tell they're gonna get the drivers squared away a little bit more. Coming off the edges yet again here off turn number 4. Line them back up in position and line them down to the field. We're coming up on the final laps here of this race. Green flag back on out. Let's get this one going, boys. Thaddeus Marshall back on lead lap. Brax Savati and Patrick McQuaid all on the lead lap. Blake Howell as well. Christian Bruce and everyone below down in 9th on so are pretty much down and out in this case here unless they catch a bit of a break here. Pure, unalterated, and absolute madness here on the showcase of the drivers. And right now, Tom Bourne, and looks like Robert Kenny nearly clipping each other around the ends there off turn number 4. They were able to hold their line down, though. And Brock Savati in the Coast Pacific 97 once again will have to deal with the pressure from the 26, Blake Howell. Serious, unalterated, and craziness mixed in with one another here. It makes for quite the show. It makes for quite the showcase here with these drivers when they get things really moving up charges, moving up the lanes. Coming off the ends of the spectrum here now, the 10 of Robert Kenny. Fall back a little bit here with Thaddeus Marshall right flying by. And Kenny nearly lost it in the turn yet again. Saved that one though. Tom Bourne looking for the slingshot. Couldn't quite clear it off the 87. The 87 of Thaddeus said hashtag send it, boy. He did not send it hard enough. Thaddeus sends himself just ahead. At West Forward, the surprise of the young man, the 35 right now, the Chevrolet Camaro, has the second place locked up right at the moment. Thaddeus and Tom Bourne balanced so hard behind him. I think that's exactly what he wanted to see here. Just hoping for it. But you can see now Tom Bourne's not to be denied. He's going to throw one, and he got another one yet again. Tom Bourne clips right on the 80 side of the 87. Thaddeus Marshall and Robert Kenny both going for a wild ride off corner number 4 yet again. Holy smokes, folks. It is pure unalterated horsepower. It is pure unalterated chaos here on the show. We saw our camera angles weren't quite clicked in, kind of clipped on that shot there. We'll take you a little bit of a better camera angle here. Our chopper cam was following this battle. Straight on into the nose, straight on into their track side here, and I guarantee you Robert Kenny right now is just thinking to himself again, like, real man, I don't know what the heck we gotta do, but this track is tearing us all apart. And for good reason too. Again, Bristol does not give an inch, does not care. It only wishes to bring out the best of the drivers and the best of performances here. Field gonna get squared away yet again here, and it looks like for the first time tonight, Brock Savati in the 97 will get his chance to be a race leader. This is crucial for him actually, because he needs the points, he needs anything to help him out in this scenario. Alright, one lap to go now. Drivers are going to double file and back up in place yet again. Carl Handwerk knows he's going to have a lot on his hands, going to have a lot to deal with here on this restart. Off the restart zone yet again, Zavazzi leads the pack on down. Green flag flow high in the air. Oh, Carl Handwerk giving the 97 a little bump and nudge, but Zavazzi stayed firm. Didn't give an inch. Took a huge little nick and a little hit in the side there, but that did not faze him. The 97 hanging on, trying to stay ahead there. Carl Handwerk and Tom Bourne hard on this charge, trying to get right up to him. Lap starting to close down here, and Carl Handwerk again gets into Savati and runs him right down. Savati can't save it. It's in the wall. Oh. Well, there may be some Bristol tempers in the pits after this one. Oh my goodness. Savati knows he cannot have this happen now. He knows he's got to just hang on in there. The playoffs. So close, so far. Did this little nudge cost him dearly? I mean, the sad part is it's just so hard to tell. It's so hard to really get a full grip of and understand if the car is too damaged or if it's going to have problems that we do not know of. But this is one of those circumstances I think really much got to seek to believe and hope for the best at this point. See right there, leading it down off turn number 1 and 2, and flipped hard. You see Handwerk try to back off. Sebastian try to get squared away, and the yellow flag was out before they knew it. And man, this is getting crazier and crazier by the minute now. Well, you want to add even more excitement to this one? Mama Fuller, get the camera ready. Your boy is going to have the race lead. I know you're still hanging around here somewhere. Ellen saying she's here, she's still with us. And Robert Van Ness saying doing good, Patrick. McQuaid is indeed doing good. He's now in top 3 scenario. There is just one little hiccup in that plan, though. Blake Howell has not exactly been shall we say, the most giving driver of the track. What I mean by that is he's not exactly giving the drivers a lot of room here. Don Bourne, Carl Handwerk, the damage sustained on their cars right now, forcing them to have to stay in pit road a little longer. They'll be in the top 5, top 6 region. Brock Savazzi back out, and he'll be behind Handwerk, and I guarantee you that those two may not see eye to eye on that restart here. What a race. What an absolutely wild, wild night down here, of course, Bristol, Tennessee's Bristol Motor Speedway, with 35 laps to go on the restart. Mama Fuller, get that rabbit's foot out. You may want to start rubbing it, because your boy is going to need all the help he can get. These are going to be some tough hombres to take down, some tough drivers to face off with. Off of corner number 4. Bring him down the line. And shoot for the moon and shoot for the stars. We're locked and loaded with the stars in the cars. And Handwerk, well, I don't know how the heck he caught up so quickly, but he's already back at it. But he's not catching that 35 so easily. Wes Fuller doing a great job, actually. Keeping a distance, trying to keep a little bit of speed under the hood. He's blocking that run for Handwerk. Handwerk knows he can't get down there in time. He can't get a move on him quick enough. Fuller's got to be careful not to burn too much tire up, though. He knows there's not a lot of laps on those things, but he knows that he can't just use them now and put laps on them like that. He's got to be careful. Coming off the ends through the turns, off the ends through the runoff zones, pushing and shoving for everything he's got. Looking for a huge clip of momentum, huge run down here. Patrick McQuaid now going straight down to the bottom. Look at the 77, put the Ford Mustang 26.13 speed of Blake Howell to shame. Nearly had him there, couldn't quite get it to go. But Fuller will not have enough to hold off Handwerk. Handwerk just will simply not be denied no matter what he does today. Oh, little bubble though, coming off turn number 4. He's going to have to be careful about that. Can't overdrive those corners. He knows better than this. If he gives an opening to Wes Fuller, I guarantee you that kid will not hesitate. He will take him to the limit. Howell now, literally trying to stay just the slightest bit ahead here. That's saying 7, but you can see McQuaid is not going to give it up that easily here. He wanted a chunk of him coming off that turn. 25 laps here at Bristol. You might as well call it the final 10 laps because that's how much time it takes around to get the track here. Top speed 145. Carl Handwerk. What did I say earlier about that? I said it probably would be what happens. And he's got about a second lead on Wes Fuller now. So he has definitely got a little bit more speed, a little bit more momentum and control than Fuller does. If I had to guess, Wes probably not too thrilled knowing that his restart was not enough to kind of stay away from that hard charge on 51. With 25 laps to go, now this is really anybody's guess, anybody's game plan here. Who wins this one out? McQuaid, look at him just fighting and just fiercely trying to take him down, but he forgot all about that 16's on board now. Literally like a bat straight out of the jets below. He is like firing this thing on all cylinders. Where did that 16 come from again? He just snuck his way right through the back, right through the motions. You'd say he was a hard charger, all right. Thing is, he's literally right back where he started in qualifying. He started third. He is in third. Wes Fuller, the hard charger of the night, by far 5 spots up in the 35. Titletown has definitely had its fair share. Has had its battles and war zones on the track here in the many grounds and many zones. He's not giving out yet, though. But Tom Bourne is literally catching right up to him. 20 laps left to go here. Now look at McQuaid putting it right back at Howell. Howell knows he's in trouble here. He's got not just the 97 to deal with, but now he's got even more trouble with that 97 to deal with. Off the ends, a lickety split. Howell couldn't get it. Now it's time for the 97 to sneak his way down across the track. It is a back and forth slingshot and affair. One driver gets the better of the other. One goes completely haywire and over the other. That's the kind of racing you come to expect here from these BackFire Sim Racing boys. But which one will get the better of the two? Savati trying to just get one last position to carry on through for his championship hopes. Handwork is literally finally now in his mind where he needed to be, where he wanted to be this entire race, this entire time. He's got a race lead locked up. He's got a position locked into play. Coming off the ends now, Tom Bourne actually gets around Wes Fuller here. Fuller gave him the opening, opened the door up and let him on by. He did not want anything to do to ruin his race. Not that I can blame him. I would probably have done the same exact thing. And caution flies out, maybe at the most inopportune times, as Brock Savati in the 97 loses it in the turn, unfortunately. Let's take a look at the PTM instant replay and take a look at this one. He threw everything he had at that 26, and Blake Howell just, I'm not sure if he got him there. I think he might have. You see the sparks kind of flying on that 97 though as he came around town there. We'll take a look at the replay one more time, see if maybe there was a clip in there. We had our drone cam flying right over there when they were doing this here. Watch carefully at the bumper. Ooh, there is a slight contact. Kind of a racing ordeal. Both drivers are just heavy on the throttle, heavy on the nose, and really one had to give over the other, and I don't think that I wanted to be anyone else. And now Carl Handwork. He's going to be left all alone. Second place guy behind him, Thaddeus Marshall. And then third, Wes Fuller and Patrick McQuaid are going to try to catch up with him and try to make something work here. Look at Tom Bourne, though. Maybe the strategy of the day. He's going to put all 4 sets of tires on that 16. This might be his last-ditch effort to get that 51 of Carl Handwork. 4 sets here at Bristol can make or break your race. Here it is, race fans. Pace lights turned off on the pace car here. We'll have 8 laps remaining on this restart. Thaddeus Marshall wants one more chance at Carl Handwork. Wes Fuller and Patrick McQuaid, they both stayed out. So it looks like they're going to try and hope for the best here. But they know there's a guy behind them that's got a fresh set of tires and a fresh set of speed, control, and manipulation to throw at them now. Here we go. Off a corner number 4, 8 remain. Handwork, great restart. Thaddeus Marshall put back behind Wes Fuller. Wes will hold the charge down, hold his line in place, and Ed Bay. Paul Butler saying, let's get it, Carl. Alan Flores saying, my Tiletown boys rock. Well, right now they definitely are rocking and rolling more than anything. And here comes that fresh 4 set of tires. Set on the 16, Tom Bourne with 6 to go. He's going to look to try to get at least second place locked up. He's going to have more of a chance here if he can avoid the wreck. He does! And Thaddeus Marshall and Blake Owl, unfortunately, just once again cannot escape the madness that just keeps pervading and persisting here today. Oh boy, we are going into overtime, ladies and gentlemen. This could get interesting. Thaddeus right here just could not hold it down. The 26, and yet again, just 2 drivers getting clipped on in, kind of put into a bit of a bad spot there. Really, just so much going down on the track. There's so much to worry about. The concrete tearing up the tires. The car is getting extremely difficult to handle and manage. And it all just can accumulate and culminate. And that tag, that little hit, and that right there could nullify and end the runs they were having here. Well, they're going to be heading into overtime now with this one. Paul Butler saying the 7 car looks like it's participating in a demolition derby. I think you can say that about pretty much every car that's been on this track today. Race fans, this one is now going to the overtime list. We're going to have ourselves a fight and a hand on our hands here. Backstretch leads them in. Tom Bourne is literally on the outside line. If he can find a way around Russ Fuller handwork, you may want to watch out there, sir. You are going to have company on your hands. But will he be able to hang on just a little bit long enough? Off a corner number 4. Fuller's trying to get him set to go. Trying to field it in. Here we go. Bourne's got to jump hard on the outside. Huge run coming up for Wes Fuller. Fuller's going to deal with all he's got here as they bring the white flag out. Bourne's not got enough time here. Wes Fuller's going to have to be now his objective to hang on with it. Carl Handwork, though, out of turn 3. Down into turn number 4. Will win at Bristol. Fuller will go second. Third, Tom Bourne. Carl Handwork pops away with the victory as the fireworks go off here in Bristol Motor Speedway. How long has it been since we've seen fireworks fly around here? The fireworks, in my opinion, though, have been going off all day long. And Brock Savati, I think, either congratulating that 51 or maybe letting him know something for later. Hard to really say anymore, but Carl Handwork wins this one, and you can see Wes Fuller goes away second, teammates and a half. A huge team celebration right here on the front straightaway here as we're going to get to showcase now our final results here. Handwork goes to the win. Second goes to Wes Fuller. Third to Tom Bourne. Fourth to Patrick McQuaid. Fifth to Thaddeus Marshall rounds out the top 5. Sixth goes to Brock Savati. Seventh to Blake Howell. Eighth to Cole Martin. Ninth to Christian Roos. And 10th to Robert Kenny. That rounds out your top 10 in this one. What a performance. And what a race by all involved. Race fans, there's only one last thing left to do, really. That's have a listen in with our drivers. Let's take a listen in down now. Your top 3. Join me, Tom Bourne. He goes away third here today here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Tom, congratulations on that. It looked like a latch-stiff strategy, a latch-stiff effort to get this thing into the spot. Just was not enough here.
Yeah, you know, I call a couple cautions before that kind of, you know, mess with the race outcome, and you know, when somebody benefited from it, and yeah, that's really all I got on it. Fast car all night, but you know.
It's a fast car to say the least here, but I know Bristol could be a bit of a challenge here, a bit of a runoff here for you. I mean, if there's anything you could have tried to do a little differently, would you think maybe the car could have handled a little more speed with a few more laps?
No, car was junk the last quarter.
Well,
for the race. People don't know how to drive, and people just, you know, constant cautions. The car was good on the long run, and we just didn't get it. No surprise here, but you know, yeah, we go to Kansas next week. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to start the chase and or the playoffs, whatever you want to call it, and we move on, and we'll, you know, I guarantee you we'll be up here talking to you again next week.
For sure there. Well, no world's held back from you in this case here, sir, but I'll ask you one last thing here. Who do you want to thank here for this top 3?
Yeah, you putting on the broadcast week in, week out, like always.
For sure there.
Thanks to Josh for having me here and whatnot. You know, Sky Motorsports for putting together all fast cars this weekend. G Fuel, FRN, Player One Coffee, all the sponsors. Kira, she's watching like always. And yeah, ultimately, you know, everybody that ended up watching this broadcast. Sorry for the horrible racing, but you know, they're trying their best.
They tried their best, and they did their best, and really, that's kind of the only thing you can do here at Bristol sometimes. But nevertheless, Tom, we do appreciate coming on board here, sir. Congratulations on a 3rd place finish.
Thanks, man.
Tom Bourne comes away here with a solid 3rd, and Wes Fuller today will have himself a solid 2nd place finish. And Wes, it's been quite a while since we've heard from you, but congratulations, sir, on this one. You had a lot going on. Teammate Carl Handwork kind of to deal with here a little late in the race. You let him get on by, but you put up a fight all the way through the end, and it looked like at one point it might have actually belonged to you if the run played out in your favor here.
Yeah, I wasn't sure how that was going to play out. We're trying to go for a 1, 2, 3, but that didn't quite work out the way we were wanting. But yeah, the last time I talked to you, I won it North Wilkesboro. So I mean, second place, another short track, or top three, another short track. So it's good, very good points day. Congrats to Carl. Titletown Racing's won twice this year, so that's huge.
It certainly is huge indeed. Now I'm gonna say this too, man. I mean, you seem to really like running these short tracks here, and you seem to really like dealing with these kind of tracks in these areas. What's really been the biggest thing for you and your crew to really keep an eye on when you get onto the bigger tracks here now, as you kind of finish up these shorter tracks?
Just consistency. Um, Consistently in the top 5, top 10, whatever. I think if we can do that, then whoever's in the top 12 in points is pretty much going to have a really good the rest of the season. But yeah, consistency is going to be huge going through these playoffs. Yeah, I'm just shocked I finished second, to be honest, because I didn't think I would even come close to being up front. Man, that's awesome.
It is awesome. It's good to see you really putting up the fights, putting on the boots yet again here. So I'll ask you this here, Wes. Coming away second, my friend. Who do you want to thank you for this one?
Everybody at Titletown Racing. Mama Fuller, I know she's watching. My dad, I know he's watching. I forgot to send the link to my cousin, but his Gutter Pro company is on my car. So big thanks to him. Bushlight, Juka Graphics, Titletown Racing, Titletown Bar and Grill, Backyard Wine and Vine. Just everybody that allows me to do this. A girlfriend for putting up with me racing, and you guys for putting this on, and Josh for running the series.
For sure there. Whatever that's Wes. We really appreciate you coming on board here today, man. Congratulations on the second place finish. And no, Mama Fuller, definitely proud of you for this one, bud.
Thank you, sir. Have a good night.
Mama Fuller, be proud of your boy. He's coming away second here today. But in the victory lane, I mean, could you deny him anything else? Carl Hamwork comes away top dog in honors here at Bristol Motor Speedway. First off, congratulations on that here, sir. And really, let's just get this out of the way here. Things were all over the place. Cars were getting sent straight to the shadow run a few times. You yourself had been put in there. And yet, somehow, some way, you just never quit. You never gave up. And this is the end result. I think this has got to mean a lot to you and the Titletown Racing crew here today.
Yeah, absolutely. Love that Titletown got first and second, and had even fifth in there. So 3 out of the top 5. That's definitely what we want to do, and it shows that we can hang with anybody out there, and yeah, I mean, I definitely got caught up in some early stuff, some late stuff, and I mean, I was able to ride around and hold people off about midway through the race with still 7 minutes of optional left on my car. So I definitely had a fast race car out there, and it was fun racing around some of the guys. Some got the talent, and they don't know how to keep it off of each other or the wall, and it's kind of sad. So it was nice, certainly running around my teammates out there, because they were nice and clean, and so.
You can't cut out there on the last bit there, Mr. Hamwork. I'm not sure if that was our end there or what happened there in this case. Well, he's I think we lost him there. Up, he's back.
There we go. Yeah, I don't even know when I got out there.
I think you kind of lost track where we were at when we were figuring that one out. I was assuming you cut out when you were talking about your teammates here.
Yeah, love that my teammates got 3 out of the top 5, and like I was saying, it's fun racing around my teammates, because they know how to keep it clean and race hard. But yeah, it was interesting out there. I mean, I knew there's going to be some bumping and banging. I know with me being the points leader, I'm sure I got the target on my back, and certainly some guys like to try and take that away from me because they don't know how to pass clean. But yeah, I'll take it. I love that we got 1-2 there for the team.
Certainly indeed. Now, moving into next week here, things going to get a little bit crazy, a little more high pressured, high scenarios coming up. What will it take for you and your team to start really locking and loading and finishing this season out on the highest of notes?
Same thing. Just just show up, wait till all the guys kind of take each other out, and then be there at the end. I mean, that's really the key to this series is just making sure you're there at the end, because there's usually carnage at some point, if not most points in the race, and you just got to try and keep your nose clean as much as possible. Obviously, Bristol is a little tough to do that. Kansas will be a little bit more spread out, but it'll probably be just more of the same. So just looking to keep it nice and clean. I mean, I got the points lead not from wins, from being consistent. So just looking to keep that going right here.
Certainly indeed. Nevertheless, though, a performance of the making and a solid race around the get-go from here to there at Bristol Motor Speedway. You are the winner. So handwork. I'm going to ask you this, sir. Who do you want to thank here for this W?
First of all, thank you guys for the broadcast. Thank Josh and Dylan with the race control, and obviously Josh with running the league here. Shout out to Titletown once again. We had a real nice showing out there. Shout out to some of the fans I got watching out there: Paul Butler, Barry Kistler, my dad Rich, or as my son calls him, Wrench. So hopefully we put on a good show and brought this thing home in victory lane. And one more shout out to Mama Fuller. We tried to burn it down in the front stretch for you.
Well, see, I think that everyone was pretty happy and pretty thankful for that one, and quite the showcase for you and the crew here. Carl, congratulations, sir, on this win.
Thanks a lot, buddy.
Carl Handwork, ladies and gentlemen, your race winner here today at Bristol Motor Speedway. And race fans, that's all but going to do it for your showcase here at BackFire Sim Racing. A big thank you again to everyone that tuned on in. Thank you so much for coming on out today and tonight as well. If you enjoy the show, like and follow us on Facebook, at our YouTube, subscribe there. The playoffs now kick in full swing. Next week, we're going to see what happens from there. But from all of us here at PTM Racing TV, thank you and good night.